Testing, we live?
Mine still says loading up, so.
Okay. I just want to see if you can hear us. With the new setup, we're working out audio key little issues.
Hey. 7, 6,
Hello,
5.
hello. Oh, I heard it.
9.
I was hearing it there.
My phone's faster.
Okay.
There we go, yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. I don't know what that was about. Why you didn't hear it on there? Unless it was turned down on the...
Nope. It just started playing in my ear about 7 seconds till.
Okay. Well, I have an idea what that could have been. Anyway, how's everyone doing? We are joining at our earlier time. Little delay, not too bad. So we're getting some things switched over from the Twitch setting. Switching from Twitch switch. So this Friday here, the 21st of July, joined with Sasha. And Zach may or may not be on this one. He's just taking some personal time right now, so we'll go ahead and start. Couple things. I know, as you've seen at the heading, we have a few updates. Of course, a heat wave. Talk about that one probably first. We had a change in status of Sasha's foot, which was for the better. That was good. That's why she's having a celebratory drink tonight, as she's earned it. So, a little bit of a peppermint rum mixed with chocolate milk.
Yes.
So, it was pretty good. I tasted it. It reminded me of the what I used to do when I would have whether it be a mudslide or even any kind of a chocolate thing, and mix it with, I think it was Anderson Erickson Holiday Chocolate Mint Milk, which is only available generally like November, December time frame. Seasonal thing, of course. Delicious. So we'll talk about that and her ordeal that happened on Monday. And then we'll proceed to talk about a little bit of a hint preview of Reawaking Peculiar Encounters in a different style altogether. That's on the main channel for those of you who've watched before. That had to do with different kinds of skits. Some were silly, dorky, and then it had a lot of urbex, urban exploring stuff, which is separate from Paranormal Endeavors stuff. That's investigative, serious team thing. This was with Peculiar Encounters. Was mostly my bestie Colton and I, and then a couple of our friends would tag along here and there, explore places and stuff like that. So it's definitely more fitting to the main channel and the content that's on there. The strange, unusual, weird, investigative type stuff that seems to have taken over that channel, which has come a long ways from the Stop Stick Animation days of with the little people and cop cars I used to do back in the day. So Heatwave, kind of go into that first. So I know several of you, and we can't even really bitch too much about it here yet. It has not hit us yet that badly. I know down to the southwest and certain other areas of, well, different areas of the world too, but specifically I was talking about the United States. It's just unbearable right now. So definitely have a few friends down. I have family that live in Texas. Pretty unbearable down there. Now, this coming week, we are expected to have a little bit of that heat wave come here. It might be very real and our first time this season of reaching the triple digits, or reach or surpass 100 degrees. And there could be multiple days of this next week. So it's finally the heat devil's reaching its ugly hands up towards us. And because I thought, well, almost August, maybe we can be, unscathed, or we can be left alone. No, it's going to get here too. Because we had a fairly...
We aren't that lucky.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Right? Because we've had a fairly mild summer so far. We had a great spring. I mean, we had almost 2 months where it didn't get above 70. So the air conditioner and everything was... I didn't have to turn it on. I didn't have the heat or the air on for a couple months. So
we have to have the window open for quite a bit of that time.
I had the window open natural breezes, so that was nice. But yeah, so the air has been on since June, mid to late June. Actually, I
I
waited
was gonna
pretty.
say, I think it was late June.
Yeah, because I know Zach had just gotten back, not too far before that, and then we had that derecho come through, and weather. so, so now we will be dealing with that. So I probably won't be going outside very much anytime soon during it. I know we had finished mowing to the last couple days ahead of this because it's dried out again. We haven't had rain for a few days, so I'm hoping the grass, especially with this heat, it'll be slow growing.
Notice he said we.
Yeah.
I got on that lawnmower finally.
I said we. Yeah.
I know.
Make a point out. Yeah, those of you who follow on on Facebook seen a video that she actually got on the riding lawnmower. First time since the May 18th incident of the yard, but that was involving the push mower, so that was different. Riding lawnmower is a little easier to do. Just sitting down. It's more safe in terms of you have more things in between you and the blades. But mower regardless, she got on there, so that was nice. I took care of the harder parts and made sure the flat areas where minimal accidents could happen would be where she mowed. So it was nice to see her out there and do that though. Speaking of which, to transition into, and only reason she was able to this soon with some of that yard stuff here is because what happened on Monday?
I got the rods taken out of my foot.
Yay!
Finally.
Should have a cheer thing on here. Yay!
And wasn't quite sure what to expect, whether or not they were going to sedate me or numb it or anything before pulling them. No, they didn't. It was all just them pulling it. So there were 4 rods on my foot, not 2. 2 small ones, 2 big ones. I have it posted on my Facebook.
And she got to keep them.
Yes, I got to keep them. They are sitting off to the side. They are part of the memorabilia collection. They'll be joining my walker and the wheelchair and my shoe in the commemorating the incident of May 18th. So it wasn't too bad getting them pulled out. It hurt a little bit on one of the smaller ones just because that side had already been irritated. It more hurt when he pulled it out of my big toe because the clamp thing he used to pull it out slipped and he had to reclamp it, and it felt like if somebody's grabbing your thumb and pulling it really, really hard. Imagine your big toe when it's already having issues staying connected.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like he was trying to pull my toe off. So needless to say, after that, I walked okay. We stopped at Hobby Lobby afterwards, and I used their wheelchair because I was not up for trying to walk that entire way. Because it was kind of sore afterwards. Wasn't as easy to walk as much as I can do now. I'm able to hobble around the house pretty well. I did have an incident going up the stairs this morning where I have to have a hard bottomed shoe, so I'm just continuing to use the one that they gave me because they said tennis shoes are too flexible and I can't put any weight on the front part of my foot. Don't need to undo the amazing work that Surgeon Chris did for me.
Surgeon Chris, yeah.
So when I was walking up the steps this morning, I was holding on to the railing, and how I was stepping was a little too far on the ball part of my foot, and so I was trying to adjust myself, started to lose my balance, put my hand out to brace myself against the wall too, and somehow managed to knock down 2 of the picture frames we have.
They've been knocked down several times before.
Needless to say, if everybody in the house was asleep, I would have woken them up with that because it was towards the top of the steps, so they just kind of tumbled all the way to the bottom. Still trying to figure out how I managed to get both of them off, but hey, I'm just that talented.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I get to go back again in 6 weeks. I'm to take it easy. Um, he said it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year to be fully healed up from it because of, even though I fractured my foot and broke 3 of my toes and did all that, it was still a lot more damage to the muscle and the cartilage in my foot. So it's got to have that time to reheal. And so I've got vitamins that are good for bones, good for muscles and stuff that I've been taking to help. He was actually really amazed at how much feeling I still have in my toes, considering the amount of damage that I did to them. So if I'm doing pretty good already and he's actually impressed on the healing process, then maybe it won't take quite that long, but one step at a time. Quite
Literally. Yes. So she still has moments that scare me. You know, any loud noises or any kind of little shrieks or anything that she makes out. I'm just like, what'd she do now? You know.
That
I'm
will
hoping
never go
eventually
away.
that
You're always gonna
I
be
know.
worried.
Well, especially now because that that day is seared into me now. So
Yeah, and that was one thing about the lawnmower yesterday. When I first started off going around the yard, now mind you, I already had to keep my foot kind of propped up off of the mower itself because of the vibrations. Didn't feel too great on my foot. My foot kind of got used to it, so I was able to do it, and I got the entire backyard done except for the very, very back part where the incident actually occurred. But I'm coming back around and don't notice the hose. And so I had a brief moment running that thing over of a flashback because it sounded very, very similar. I'm assuming because blade hitting rubber and my shoe was rubber. So I destroyed a hose in the process.
yeah.
One we were looking to replace anyways, but it was I didn't see it in time. I didn't even think about it because I haven't watered the garden or anything else. And I distracted him when he was thinking about it because we started talking about something else. So he forgot when he went inside to get back to work. And I had to send him a picture of it and a text saying, so I broke something.
Yeah. So we kind of scrambled there for a while, and Zach helped too, and we found a hose. It was probably a 25 footer that was in the garage. So we brought that one out, hooked it up, and then I replaced the little 4-footer one that was connected from the faucet, from the spigot itself in the house, to the reel, hose reel. So it was probably about another 25 footer or so, or maybe a 20. So it extended it out that much more. So we almost have all the length that we lost replaced, but we might
That's
still
still
get
the
a
right one.
25 footer at least to connect again to it, or just to get a 50 to swap it out and keep that one in reserve in case the next person mows it over. So
I voted that we put a little sticky note on the lawnmower itself and tape it on there saying, did you wrap up the hose? Just so it doesn't happen again. But
Yep. Hey Lupita, hello. Glad you joined. Missed you last week. I don't remember you jumping in.
I think it was just too early for everybody last week because
Maybe.
they weren't used to
Getting
it.
in the groove of us being even an hour earlier even. So again, this should be our locked in time for the time being though. I don't foresee us having to move it again. But it just kind of fits with some of our schedules stuff. I like your lawnmower tractor. It's cool. I need one. Those are expensive. Yes, they can be. And the parts for them aren't. You'd think they'd be even cheaper, but they're luckily I go through a used guy, as I call it, but a guy who works on mowers. He's Larry the mower guy. That's the kind of the joke around here. It's like Larry
And
the
oddly
cable guy.
enough, he was fixing that particular lawnmower the day of my accident. That's why we were using the other one.
Yeah. She was getting a head start with the push mowing because back in April and May we had a lot of rain, of course, and so the grass was just growing thick and fast. And if I had to wait for an uncertain amount of time, just a few days, for the lawnmower to come back from Larry, the mower guy, then we would have weeds here. So she got a head start on. We were going to take turns, kind of push mowing, and well, the rest is history. So, but yes, so I get kind of discounts with working with the guy who works on them out of his garage, kind of thing. One of those things, kind of who you know. And luckily, in the small neighborhood here, the village, it's still has a little bit of that old school neighbor lending hand, neighbor helping neighbor thing, which I think's died in the cities, if it ever existed, years ago. So, just country folk.
I wonder if Larry knows somebody who works on cars.
You might. Other than what our neighbor told you?
Kelvin.
Other
the guy
than
that he
him,
gave me.
yeah.
But again, I've still got to find out the location.
So, but yeah, see, Lupita, this is the new setup here. Hopefully you like it. She just got her new background light in the mail today. As you can see, it's
Which
swirling.
I'm sitting back and getting a different one.
Different
'cause
one.
It's not purple.
Right. It's kind of false advertisement. But the fact is we have separate mics, separate camera now, making it more professional looking so we're not all huddled around. And you can hear me the best, and then them sitting behind me, they're like, and then, oh, that's really exciting, because you have that distance.
I could be heard.
Well, yeah,
I
but you have to
always heard.
talk louder, and that's just.
I always talk loud, so
Yeah.
it was never an issue on
But
my
every
end.
podcast, every professional one, everyone has their own camera and their own mic. You know this.
I know. I just like giving you a hard time.
Yeah, because it was just time for us to graduate from everyone huddling around one camera, one mic. Purple's my favorite color, so I'm loving it. Well, you.
Yeah, his turned out purple. Mine is like a pink, blue, fiery looking bullshit because on the thing itself, when I ordered it, it showed purple.
Yeah, no.
But there is no purple on this whatsoever. It made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that I had it plugged in and charging and it's not charged.
Right?
And then when I was watching something on the TV, the remote was actually turning it on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a separate remote. That was a little disturbing.
the TV remote works to turn it on. So.
Because I wasn't too thrilled about that. I'm just like, that's great. So. But yeah. So, she, just to recap here, so she had her rods removed from her foot on Monday. She's been putting some weight on her new foot. She's been moving around without the walker or the wheelchair now. She's even going at her own pace, but it still makes me nervous, but she's still doing it. And I even recommended, at least in this interim period till she can put more weight on her front part of her foot, that she uses one of my cool canes. At least she can walk with style,
I'm gonna feel like house.
Yeah. Yes, there's some purple and pink floating balloons. Oh, now it's pink swirls. She's saying. So it sounds like it's, according
It's mesmerizing
to the
her.
viewer, it's kind of changing colors a little bit.
Here, Lupita, I'll show you the different colors that they got.
And hers comes with a remote. It's more fancy than mine.
Maybe.
That one's kind of cool. It's blue and gray, bluish. Nonetheless, it's a mixture of pink and purple. Canes are cool, she says. Supporter of Kane.
I'll have to let Kane know.
Yeah, our friend named Kane, spelled with a K, not a C. See all the things we'll do? And she could stop and slow it down.
Yeah, let's see. That's slower. I don't remember.
Freeze it, do Matrix bullet times. Like,
There you go, it stopped.
just everything froze. There you go. That's been it. So
And I
that's
can make them brighter or dimmer.
that's what she can do. But again, not happy with it. She'll
No.
have a different one. I may or may not be here in time for next week's Creatures, but maybe if she orders it right away.
I'll end up getting a new one before I send this one back. I've got until August 20th to send this
Okay.
back.
Oh, so you just maybe keep it for until you get the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no gap in color swirls. Very cool, Sasha, she says.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was gonna get here in time today because originally when I ordered it, it said it was supposed to get here yesterday, and then when it actually got sent out, it said it'll get here by 8 p.m. on Friday, and I'm like, okay, well we start at 6:30, so it better be here on time.
Yeah, Lupita, if you know which one you're thinking of, let me go find it. I think if it's where I think it is, I'll be back to show you what it is.
Oh yeah. I haven't even seen it yet, so he was talking about me using that. I think it's more of a peace of mind for him because being in the walker,
means you've fallen over.
me being in the wheelchair and using the walker for so long, and now not using it whatsoever. It's like he's just kind of. I keep him on his toes since I can't be on mine.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that I'm accident prone. We
She's
discovered
very
that
accident prone. There's no accidents to be found, she'll find one. But yes, this is it. It's the claw. So you can see this hand. That's a claw that's holding this ball. And
holding its balls.
yeah.
Keep the balls in the purse.
Yeah. And then, as you can see, you have the. Wait a second. As you can see, as you're right, you guessed right. You're on the right path. Does have this blade in it. So. Boop, boop, boop. But yeah.
And since mine is like 5 minutes delayed, I'm waiting to see it on my screen. There we go. Wait, not yet.
Yeah. No one can stop the claw.
Not yet. There we go.
Lupita
You're
says
untwisting it. Hold on. I'm almost there.
Lupita's like, no one can stop the claw. You know?
There we go. I get to see it. Too bad we can't use that for our project.
Yeah. So. But yes, this is the cane.
Be weaponized.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool. I almost have to sit here with it. And those of you who might notice a little bit of green on my hands, because I did a touch-up of my side hairs earlier with, if you know, like the splat type thing, it stains everything but your hair. It's kind of my critique of it. Well, yeah.
It did really good with my hair.
It does with certain people's hair. It does. At least I touched it up so it will be good for now.
I just wish it would have stayed a little bit longer because that purple pink was awesome. I love that color.
Right.
I think that's gonna be I have to bleach almost all of my hair for that to really
Right.
work, and that's gonna do a lot of damage to my hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to bleach very much if I can help it.
And that's why my hair is not straightened, and it hasn't been straightened the last 2 creatures
Mm-hmm.
because I'm trying to build up my hair again because it's very, very dry. And it's faded out on the bottom already.
Yeah.
And that was using the rest of the dye you had.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And no, well, we don't know. He's taking a personal time right now tonight, so he might be taking tonight off, but I'll let him know that you asked. But yeah, so this is the cane. It's kind of cool. I figured I'd feel a little bit better because she's kind of graduated from the walker. She doesn't have to hop anymore per se, which she's happy about. And the wheelchair she might use if she has to stand for prolonged periods of time still, but she's not dependent upon it to move around.
no, I used it a little bit last night, and that was just because I showered off and my foot was still drying, so I didn't have my boot thing on, and my foot was pretty swollen.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just use the wheelchair for now, and then still managed to hurt myself. So there was that.
Yeah. So there's that. So yeah, no, I mean, ultimately things are going all right. Things are definitely always interesting around here at the mansion, and I'm hoping some point this weekend take the tortoises out again. I know you saw a video, maybe the pictures from it last time. Take them out to graze in their little outside tortoise pen. before it gets triple digits, because that's even a little bit too hot for them. I don't want to keep them out too long in that. Let me see here. Is the sudden static on your end or mine? I'm hearing that, but I wasn't sure if you heard that.
Let me unmute mine.
And it's only since I grabbed. Let me put the cane back and see if it goes away. Because it only really started once I came back with this.
I don't hear any static on mine, but
Alright, I'm going to use this earbud instead of this one. Let's see, because I thought it was maybe a situation with this headset or earbuds, because they're kind of been used. Yeah, this heat dome is baking humanity, and that's weird. Why would the cane start causing static? Well, never
it could
know.
be something to do with the metals and all the
Yeah, I was gonna
electrical
say,
components.
that's the logical explanation for it. I did get it at an antique store, but I don't feel that with it. But it's the fact that, yeah, like she said, that's more likely the cause. Having that around here could really, because I have a very sensitive microphone. So, as you can now tell, I don't think I've heard it since I took the cane back. So,
Alright, I gotta mute this again.
okay. You like hearing the echo or the replay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, hopefully we're sounding good, because that was of course, the headache of last time when we were experimenting with this new setup. There's the kinks to work out, and we got most of it. It sounds better this time. I don't hear as much of an echo like I did last time, so that was good. Now, just tackling the game volume for when we go over to Twitch.
And let me.
That's the next thing I'll have to do.
There we go.
Yep. I was
That
gonna say,
better?
as it's getting darker, you're getting, yeah. Can see you better, and we can still see the lights behind you. It's not
Yay.
overpowering them. Sounds good now. Yeah, like an antenna. Yep, you got it. So yeah, back to the tortoises. So their garden is going well too. It's thriving, even though I had bad luck with sunflowers this year. But that's another story, I guess.
Sadly, none of my flowers that I picked out bloomed.
It was just,
made me very, very
I think
sad,
it was the
especially
drought
now.
and didn't get watered enough. I think, honestly.
Yeah, I had some crazy looking sunflower things. I was really looking forward to seeing them, but they didn't.
Maybe next year. We'll have to do it differently anyway, because like I said, that whole area that's the new sunflower garden per se, we'll call it that, it has a lot of ash within the soil, because a couple years ago we had, oh, I'm hearing that static again. Sorry guys, that's weird. We had 2 pine trees that needed cut down, and one of them cut down, and then a heavy part of it fell down right where it laid next to it, and we decided, since there's no building too close to it, we would just burn it there. So we did. We burned pieces of it,
Oh, I'm hearing
bit
this
by
stuff
bit.
now. Okay.
and then that ash is mixed within that soil, so I'm trying to mix in potting soil to kind of give it nutrients back again, just in case it's not thriving.
Now, what's going to happen next year is that plot where I was pulling out all those weeds and all the roots and stuff where I broke the shovel, I'm going to raise that bitch down, pull everything out of it, turn the soil, and we can use that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then obviously that soil is pretty damn good if it's holding all that stuff in it, and we haven't done a damn thing to it. We haven't
Mhm.
watered it or anything.
Yeah.
So.
which I need to go out there at some point this week and walk because it's been a few days since we've had any. Because there's a few sunflowers that are popping up finally. I want to try to grow, even though they're late. I want to see how far I can take them. At least get them, even if they're miniature blooms, and they don't grow full size. That's a success this year because sunflower. It just, other than the tortoise garden, things around here have just been a little slow. We didn't have any cherries on the new cherry trees, which that's more expected. One's like 2 years old and the other one's just planted this year. There's peaches on the old peach tree, which we do have to go. I have to save some of them before they start rotting. So maybe we'll do that this weekend too.
And this is why I never gardened before I moved in here.
You mean you don't have a green thumb?
Oh, by far not.
But yeah. Now I guess we'll move on to the last thing I have in the title, to lure you in.
I didn't even know what you put in the title this time around.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting over there, so I didn't see it.
Well, that's good. You get to see it, enjoy it with the audience, and you just get to see it. So,
That's for you.
yeah. So, Peculiar Encounters, like I mentioned kind of at the beginning, was a series that my best friend Colton and I, and then a couple guest friends would kind of cameo in each vlog that we do. Explore abandoned places, so we do a lot of urban exploring. We do some different kind of funny skits, like one that stands out to me. Well, a couple. One.
Banana?
Well, that's one. There's a picture here. I can't take it off of this thing, but my best friend. Maybe I'll move this instead. You can barely see it. Oh, that's best friend Colton in a banana costume. I have it next to me each day to remind me of how goofy I'm capable of being, even if he would probably kill me if I had that just right here next to me. But
Didn't you say he snuck?
Oh,
selfies?
he snuck selfies. Yeah, he was like low key enjoying it. He was just like, "Oh, this is so cringy." Oh, and then he's like, "Snap, snap." He's like, "I might be the only time I wear a banana outfit. I don't know." You know, it's like you're like low key enjoying it, but you're afraid to admit it. So that was one of them, and then there's a evil snowman skit that we did. We built these snowmen, and they were invading.
Oh my god, I saw that one.
And Colton and I, of course, had to fight back, and we destroyed a few snowmen. It was cute and funny, you know. Cringy, sure, but a lot of it was urbexing. So, Peculiar Encounters is, since Colton's not as readily available because we live, you know, state apart. He stayed in Iowa. I'm in Illinois now. Wouldn't mind getting back into urbexing and kind of reviving that series on my main channel because it is interesting. I like exploring abandoned places, but doing it in a way that I have not seen done before, at least in the urbexers I watch. Not saying I'm not claiming the first to ever do it, but we are a little tight-lipped on the idea just because it's not something I've seen, so I don't know. I mean, like I said, but it's more or less combining paranormal research and urbexing and dramatization of ghost hunting horror video games.
And right
that
there,
might be too
away.
much. It might be. But you have to wait and see. The revival will be very, very different. Some similar aspects, but it's a complete overhaul, I would say, of what we were doing before in Peculiar Encounters.
Let's just say shenanigans will be had.
Yes. There's room a little bit here for cinematic licensing, as we call it. Room for... it's not necessarily... It's going to be loosely scripted. Let's put it that way. So it's not at all by any means completely nonfiction. Let me be clear on that. Paranormal Endeavors series is nonfiction. That is truth. It's real events, real investigations, real people, real families, real homes. This gives us a little bit of that wiggle room and leeway and liberty to explore a little bit of creative juices we can do applied to real scenarios. Like some of the places are going to be abandoned that we're going to do, and some of them won't be. But overall, the story is, I mean, it's more or less fiction. Not to say that there's going to be, that there might not, that there could be actual paranormal activity that happens as we're doing this role play, so to speak.
Lupita, that is yet to be determined. It won't be a live thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a official release date yet.
Right. I want to get a few of these done to see how it looks before it's released. And I want, if it's good enough, I want to submit it into film festivals, especially one in particular that we did last year called Halloween-a-Palooza, that I did a nonfiction piece for. And it got selected because it was based off of Case 044 of Paranormal Endeavors. Check it out if you want to. It's on the main channel, Klein Studios Production on YouTube.
I think I'm up to episode 25 right now.
Yeah, she'll be getting there slowly. She's getting there. But it's based on the La Siona case that we had. And it was a standalone documentary about La Siona that looked deeper into what La Siona was. And there's some extended scenes and deleted clips that were included within it that wasn't in the episode of Paranormal Endeavors. And I submitted that. It got chosen to be screened, which is an honor. That's great. Didn't win any awards, though. I think my submission was the only non-fiction piece. Everything else was fiction. Was screen-written, narrated narratives, that kind of thing. And
But
let me
let's
tell
just
you,
say
some
there
of them
was
were just...
B-rated. Like, very, very B-rated movies.
They were not, we were just like, we felt that ours was underrated, and of course biased probably to it, and those that were team members on my team that witnessed the screening too, they agreed, but again, to be fair, we could be biased, but some of the other stuff was just, honestly, and respect to my peers, but just wasn't that good, to be honest. And but it unfortunately, that film festival seems to lean and cater to slasher type, screen-written, scripted horror film pieces, shorts. Of course, Paranormal Endeavors inspired the La Siona standalone documentary. Far from that. So, but again, I'm honored that it got it screened. Just wasn't in any nominee for any award or any credit or anything. So this year, if we do this, it's kind of the only one of the only ideas I have right now. I think I have a plan B in case this is a flop, but I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling that this is going to be very interesting and give people a little bit of a different perspective. And those that do ghost hunt horror games, I think if it's brought into reality, will appreciate this. So, oh wow, happy for you. Hope it gets selected. Thank you. Hopefully success. Cross it out. But I don't want to say any more. I don't want to jinx it. But that's all I'll give you for now. That's more than I've kind of released yet. So those of you get the inside scoop that are joined on this, as like I said, Creatures of the Night, sometimes we dish out the juicy stuff that first before anyone else knows, but that's unfortunately all I can really give you right now.
And luckily, this is all coming together after I'm no longer needing to use the walker or anything, so I'm not having to sit back and watch.
Yeah, she wants to be more of an involved participant, which is very good and understandable. Because before, if she had to have her rods removed next month, for example, she would have had to stay with the vehicle and just, well, we worked in a scene maybe where she's monitoring what's going on from the outside. Camping, yes. But she wouldn't be able to go with us to the activity. So, yep. But that's what we're looking at right now.
But we got to scope out a possible location last night. So my first urbexing, which made my life
Popped
happy.
your cherry a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. say that, I hear the static again. It's weird. Not sure what it is.
It's one of the.
Move this mic back a little bit.
It's somebody calling me right now.
Oh, that could
Why
be you
they're
then.
calling me
That could
this-
be you.
That would be the first time though, and I'm too far away for it to really have done anything.
Nope, when you're moving it close to the laptop. Yeah, it's your phone.
It hasn't gone off this entire time.
But it doesn't matter if you don't have it on airplane mode. Because I have my phone away from my setup. It's over here. So that's something to keep in mind. She's new to this. It's okay. It's a thing. I didn't know where you had your phone at, so it's good.
Yeah.
But we want to rule that stuff out. Just like from my real team, Paranormal Endeavors, we want to think about that kind of stuff. It's kind of the investigator in me. I'm like, okay, is there a phone near you? Is it around the area, the perimeter of this phenomenon that's going on? If you answer yes, and it's fully on, it's not shut off or it's not on airplane mode, it gives frequencies, and frequencies clash with other frequencies.
Which he didn't tell me when we did a session at the house
Yeah.
in one of my first visits here. And so my phone was making stuff go off.
Yeah.
But I've had a couple of instances since then in the last 2 days
Yeah.
that have been happening too. So it's been interesting, including tonight. I've got some walkie-talkies. I was turning them on to test to see where their battery levels were. And one of them just completely drained and said 0 battery and shut itself off. The other one was fine. I bring it down here and I turn them both on to see which one needed charged. And one was fully charged, the other one was only missing one little bar from it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
And then when he was outside mowing the front part of the lawn yesterday, I was in here sitting on the bed and watching something. I don't remember what I was watching. But it sounded like somebody walking up the steps, so I thought Zach might be home. He wasn't home, and I could hear the mower, so I know it wasn't Eric coming in. And then twice I saw a figure walking like from the kitchen area, like towards the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been interesting around here recently.
Yeah, it has totally. So, but and talk about how you had a sudden. Just for the record, we'll have it on here for your amethyst. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So yesterday morning, I woke up and for some odd reason, really felt like I needed to put my amethyst necklace on. It's been upstairs in my room, hanging up on a random nail on the wall since I moved in here. So it was kind of stuck on my mind, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go get it. So I made a special trip upstairs just to get it. And while I was up there, I've got this little square box of gemstones, and I've had that thing for maybe 4 or 5 years. Never once have I really had the want to go through them, look at them really very much. The only time I've ever really gotten into it, because it was taped shut, was to give a stone to my youngest, Emery, as a kind of like a monster spray kind of effect. I told her that if she had it under her pillow, that it would help her not have nightmares. Needless to say, it worked, even though I'm not even quite sure that was the right gem for that. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. So I decided to open it up, and in it is a little gem that is in a little baggie. It's a certified thing. It used to have paperwork to it. I don't know what happened to the paperwork. It's been 5 years. So it had a little gem in it that's called Black Star of India. And one of its properties is for healing, to promote healing. It's supposed to be a stronger one to promote healing. I was like, oh shit, okay, well, let me grab this. And so it's been sitting like tucked into my shoe for the last 2 days now. So it was just kind of a weird coincidence. Oh, and that gem you found earlier today that had fallen, it fell out of my pillowcase because it's one that's supposed to help promote more lucid dreams. Because I've been having some interesting dreams recently, but it's like when I wake up, I have a hard time grasping it to
And I've been
remember it.
encouraging her to do a dream journal like I do, to write this down.
But that's the problem
Immediately.
is, besides the one that I know Andy Biersack was in, I don't remember the dreams. Like, I'll wake up and it's like just the tiniest remnants are there, and I'm like trying to pull at them to remember what's going on in the dream, and I can't. So the one with Andy Biersack, I remember him clear as day, but I don't remember what the context was that I was dreaming about him.
Yeah.
So it's like, let me put this in here and see if it works. I don't think I dreamed anything last night. If I did, I don't remember any of it. But I do know I must have slept better last night than I had recently, because normally I could go back to sleep. Because I woke up when he got up and he was doing his workout and stuff. I didn't go back to sleep this morning.
Yeah.
I tried to. I couldn't. Instead, I stayed up and watched Ever After.
There you go. So, and she has been like she mentioned earlier, binge watching Paranormal Endeavor series.
Yep.
So.
I took a break from it today, because part of me was feeling a little bit nostalgic because I put on Ever After to go to sleep, or try and go to sleep. That used to be my more emotional support movie, but it's also one of my favorite movies. So, like, if I get really upset about something, it'll be something that I put on, or if I just want something on to fall asleep to, I'll put that on. But because I stayed up and I watched it, and it was a movie from my childhood that my mom had actually introduced me to, it made me want to watch the old Pride and Prejudice from 1995. I still have 5 minutes left of that episode because you came in and asked me about the lawn.
Yeah. Well, it was a reminder because we talked about it before, to be fair.
Yes.
That's what Zach was doing earlier, is cleaning up some sticks and stuff to make the path clearer. So we did run over a bunch of sticks and stuff and dull the blades, or worse, to cause it to shoot that piece at several hundred feet per second towards the mansion. So he did good. That's part of it too. I'm sure he's exhausted because he worked doing that during the peak heating of the day. So.
Real quick, Lupita, read your comment about the necklaces, amulets to keep the spirits away. The amethyst one actually helps keep you grounded, which, considering later on that day is when I ran over the hose, and I ended up getting back on the lawnmower even after that.
Yeah.
I think that was more of the reasoning for why I felt the need to put it on, and I've been wearing it since, which, considering how I had to deal with my kids' dad being kind of an ass earlier tonight,
There's that.
it's a good thing that I had it on, because something tells me I probably would have been a lot more emotional because of the bullshit he was.
That, my theory too, it's a combination with what we're about to do for production for the thing that I teased at earlier. It's good to have that protection with you, because some of the stuff we're doing, yes, it's fictionalized and acted out, but sometimes
there could be some actual stuff.
some stuff, whether it be diabolical energies or non-human or whatever, I don't know the difference sometimes, so just that extra safeguard is key. So the world of make-believe, we don't want to come into reality, as we say. So great subject matter tonight. That's Real Creatures of the Night stuff. Well, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the show so far.
Wait, Lupita, what were you talking about when you said, yes, that's your true passion? Because
I think that was for me, because I was talking about paranormal endeavors.
Okay.
I was talking about debunking, being an investigator, and I'm in investigator mode, and I can't separate from that. That's part of what causes me, it prevents me from enjoying certain movies. So I'll critique things left and right.
The musician in you helps prevent you from enjoying a certain movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you haven't seen August Rush,
but that's
the
because
movie
I'm an
makes him
orchestra
cringe.
guy too. I do music, as you know, so
The movie makes him cringe because at the end the kid turns around, so he turns his back to the orchestra, and I'm watching him watch it basically through his fingers because he's like so disgusted at this kid.
Yeah, because he's standing in front of this orchestra. Well, several problems with it. I mean, he's doing this. It's like a flapping bird, and I'm like, that's incorrect. And then, what really drove it home was at the spoiler alert. All right, gave you a second there. I think that's enough time. If you ever want to see August Rush, now's your time to mute this. He has the opportunity of a lifetime to conduct an orchestra. But instead, there's drama going on with some couple individuals. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is one of them.
Love him.
And they're in the audience, and they get his attention over his initial dream to conduct this orchestra.
That wasn't the initial dream.
That's
The whole
in the
reason,
eye of the beholder.
The whole reason that movie was happening was to find his parents. That was what his dream was. That's why he wanted so many people to hear his music, to bring his
The
parents.
dream for me, though,
The dream for you, but
would
not
be
the dream for this 8-year-old
the dream.
kid or 10-year-old kid.
Whatever. 8, 9, 80. I don't care who you are. You have these musicians that are relying on your guidance and timing and everything. If anything, even if it's not a goal, it is neglecting his duty. Yes, you can't argue with that.
I did not argue with that.
Okay, there we go. So he's neglecting his duty because he has this, 50-piece, we'll say, for the sake of argument, orchestra in front of him, these musicians, and he's going like this, which I don't know how they follow along anyway, and they're just like,
Well, see, they
and
didn't have to rely on him anyways.
and then, that's because the first violin, or the concertmaster, was actually the star of the show. No one's fooled here. I know that. Anyway, so he's just flapping his wings like an injured bird, and then these two adults that are kind of kissy behind him, he doesn't even
They weren't
logically.
even kissing. They held hands.
Why? He doesn't logically even know. He's facing the orchestra, but his spider senses were tingling, apparently. And so he's like this, and he's like, and then he stops and he turns around completely, and the musicians, I feel bad for him because they're like, why is the conductor or the maestro, whatever you're gonna call him, turning his back to us? It's kind of rude. Anyway, that's my interpretation of it. So that my movie review is 2 thumbs down, but that's me. She likes it.
I like it because
That's good.
I
That's
am
fine.
not an orchestra person. I am a choir person.
But that's why certain things, like I was saying before, like going to school for cinema, being in an actual ghost hunting team for umpteen years and stuff, these things have limited my ability to just enjoy something. It's that suspension of disbelief thing. It's harder. So I'm more critical, I guess, but that's the thing. So, anyway, but she laughed nonetheless because I was making commentary during that movie.
Yeah, I don't think he's watched one of my recommended movies really since then.
Well, I mean, I think I have, but
Well, the only one you watched was Secondhand Lions, and you'd already seen it, so.
yeah, I did already see that. Haley Joel, but that was a better
I'm
movie.
gonna make you watch
That
The
was
Meg.
better, though.
I'm making you watch The Meg.
Oh, good luck with that. That one
Please?
looks so ridiculous. Let's see. I remember a conductor who included the audience in the orchestra. Their timed claps, keeping the beat. Maestros do interesting stuff. So, yeah. I showed her a comedic. Heinz Rainer, I think was his name.
You think?
Yeah, I think that is. I
think
get
you
it
don't-
swapped around. He
you don't
sounds
know?
German, but he's not necessarily German. If you look him up, you'll see there's Funny Orchestra, and he'll do that. They did, you know what I'm talking about, right? I showed you a few.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And
That's
he did the Apple iPhone thing, for example.
That's
he did
why I'm laughing at you
he did
thinking it rather than knowing it.
the
because
Windows startup and critical error message, and he had the orchestra just boom, boom, do 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 do. You know, it's just funny stuff that I would pay to see his show, because he's a comedic conductor, which
Didn't you say
is
he
very.
passed away?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you said.
I hope not.
I thought you said that particular one had passed away. That's what I
No,
was like.
no, you're talking about the serious conductor that I'm inspired by, James Horner.
Okay.
That's different. Wow.
Hey, I'm not good with names. We all know this. I have proven it time and time again. You're always impressed when I do know a name.
Wow. How much have you had to drink?
A cup.
Okay, just kidding. But no, James Horner. That's going into the serious things. James Horner, Hans Zimmer, John
Hey,
Williams,
have an age.
Klaus Badelt, a few others have inspired my actual musicianship. That's different. But no, this one is a comedic conductor, which is funny. But oh, she goes ha 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 ha. But
To be fair, I'm drinking rum. I haven't drank rum in years.
I was wondering how much lightweight she's gonna be. So she's
I haven't even drank anything much
for
recently.
a while. She's been good. We'll give her kudos for that because while she's on her pain meds and going through her ordeal, she's really cut back on Friday night drinks. So, I mean, that's good.
I refuse to drink if it's not for enjoyment. If I'm having
Well, that's good.
a rough day or an emotional day, I refuse to drink.
Yeah.
That stems from
That's good. That's logical.
my dad's side of the family. My dad was an alcoholic. He's a recovering alcoholic. They have very addictive personalities. So
Yeah.
I stayed away from a bunch of stuff growing up. I don't drink very often, and if I do, it's literally just for enjoyment. So
Mhm. As
I
it
think
really
the last
should.
thing I had
should
was
be.
that Smirnoff when we were gaming one night, and one Smirnoff ain't gonna do anything.
Mhm.
This is actual liquor.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good rule there. You don't drink when you're because you're angry, upset, depressed. That can lead you to a different area. Trust me, I know. I used to do that. Drink a lot more after Angela's suicide. It was, and even while I was still dating her at the time, a toxic person can rub off on you and then cause a person to go to bad things to deal with it partially. So that was a bad time. But yeah, you don't want to do that.
Taking
And I,
gummies dealing with my situation last year.
you what?
Gummies
Oh yeah.
last year.
But that, and I don't drink to get drunk. That's another thing for me, which I've been criticized before by a couple of people who give me a hard time. That'd be like, well, that's the point of drinking. Well, it's like, well, maybe
No,
for
it's
you, maybe for you it
I've
is.
been a porcelain
If you
queen,
wanna
there's
have that
nothing
hangover-
glorified about that.
Right. If you want to have that hangover and you'll be glorified with that headache and the after effects and acting stupid while you're blacked out because you're under the influence, by all means, go ahead.
I won't even mix alcohols anymore because I drank Four Loko and I think it was Jim Beam or Jose. No, it wasn't Jose Cuervo. It was Captain Morgan, I think. I mixed a couple different drinks and it's like it hit me all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I almost passed out on the floor. Like I vowed never to do that shit again. I haven't
Right.
really drank Four Loko since.
And I learned that from the college days because I went to party school and I seen how others acted. You know, you have these 18, 19, 20, 20 year old. Yeah, like I said, I know. Go figure. Shocker. People underage drinking. Never happens, right? Anyway.
No, never.
But it was just a thing where their behavior was just unbecoming. And I'm like, how is that fun? How is that attractive? How, you know. So I learned at an early age. Because before, even at college, I didn't drink much because the house parties only had beer, and I hate beer. The only time before that, which I'll admit, like I said, drinking before 21, parents' wine coolers in the fridge. That's really about it.
Vodka and Coke.
Yeah, see. So I didn't have this developed taste for alcohol. I didn't even know what I liked at the time, but I knew I hated beer, so I was like, And seeing how the kids acted in college, I'm like, So it turned me off, and I didn't drink for several years completely.
What was your first time drinking that you remember?
Well, I've been sneaking wine coolers from my parents. You
How
mean
old?
beyond that?
No, how old were you when you stuck your first?
I'm still a late bloomer. Probably 13, 14 maybe.
Oh, that's not a late bloomer. I was 13.
Okay.
My dad handed me a wine cooler.
Well, there you go. My dad sent me off to college with condoms, so there we go.
He wanted to make sure you didn't have grandbabies.
Well,
before.
he was thinking of me. Of course, nonetheless, I didn't even get fortunate enough to even have to use them, so there was no worry. This is true.
That's surprising.
Freshman year, I didn't get any, and that's just TMI. But sophomore year, that's when I actually lost my virginity. So I was 19.
I lost mine. Well, technically, with our age difference, you still lost yours before I lost mine.
Yeah, but mine.
Age-wise, it was the summer before I turned 18.
Mine was planned, and it was with somebody that I knew. So at least it went out with a good bang, so to speak, because it was a best friend at the time.
Mine was too.
Okay.
I
So,
was
and it was
dating
something
him,
because
but-
I didn't want it to be that first time where it's like you regret it and it was or you don't remember it because it was alcohol driven, any of that stuff, and you didn't want to knock anyone up or anything, obviously.
I told my mom I was going to the beach with my friend Kylie,
Sure.
and I drove to LaPorte to be with my boyfriend at the time.
Yeah. So that was my first time, sophomore year in college. So there you go. That's out there now on the internet. But yeah. But again, I don't regret how I lost it. It was somebody I knew and trusted, and that's all I could ask for. Nobody got knocked up. Nobody got hurt over it. So I mean, it was a good way to do, because eventually it would probably happen, So I might as well have it to where it wasn't a regret. I've been abstaining from alcohol, but it's more for spiritual reasons. Valid, very valid. But yeah, so anyway, wrap up here probably in the next minute or so. So any final thoughts, Sash?
No, everything's going good on my end, and I get to go back in about 6 weeks for a next checkup, and hopefully get to go back to work after that.
Yeah.
First, I gotta fix my car.
August is her date right now. She's hoping as soon as possible.
It'll be probably around the beginning of September.
That's kind of a bummer, but we're hoping as soon as possible.
My next appointment's not till August 28th.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But anyway. Good night, creatures.
Oh
Time
no!
for you to fade
You
away.
have something to read.
Huh?
That thing I sent you. Do I need to resend it to you?
Maybe it might be easier to do it on this. Because we have gamer buddies waiting for us. Because Jordan has an
It won't
hour.
take very long. It's too funny not to read.
This is more so for you, Lupita, so don't go anywhere yet. She thought of you.
It's not the poetry that you would expect, but it's still funny as hell, and I wanted him to read it.
Which voice do you want me to use?
Whichever one you think is appropriate.
Something spooky.
Oh, it's not spooky. I'll try and find something spooky for next week. This one I happened to come across on Facebook, and I thought it was hilarious,
Did you
and
resend
I
it?
could just imagine him saying it. Do you need me to?
I was waiting for it because you've sent me a lot of Phasmo and other video clips.
Forward.
I don't know where it is.
Forward. There we go. It's in a text.
Maybe I should practice my Chris Hansen, since I have a feeling Jay's gonna only have time really for that tonight. Because he's trying to go to bed at 3 his time. So okay. All right. So I'll do it. Oh, love you, Sasha says Lupita. Okay. So I'll do it as I guess Chris Hansen. Give me a reason to practice that voice anyway. A fart, it is a pleasant thing. It gives the belly ease, it warms the bed in winter, and suffocates the fleas. A fart can be quiet, a fart can be loud. Some leave a powerful poisonous cloud. A fart can be short, or a fart can be long. Some farts have been known to sound like a song. A fart can create a most curious medley. A fart can be harmless or silent and deadly. A fart might not smell, while others are vile. A fart may pass quickly or linger a while. A fart can occur in a number of places and leave everyone there with strange looks on their faces. From wide open prairie to small elevators, a fart will find all of us sooner or later. But farts are all bad is simply not true. We must never forget sweet old farts like you. Kinda brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it? And from Dateline NBC, I'm Chris Hansen. That's a good story.
To be fair, I didn't read the very end of it. I just read the beginning. I was like, he's got to read this on creatures.
Anyway, so that's that.
I'll try to find something spooky for you next time.
Alrighty. Hilarious. LMAO. Okay, there you go, Lupita. Hopefully you enjoyed. Brought to you by Sasha.
Brought to you by Facebook.
Sounds like Dr. Seuss. Well, yeah, because it rhymed. Yeah. So. Alright, everybody, with that, hopefully enjoy your next week, and we'll see. I'm curious what background light she'll get. Probably won't be in time for next week, but we're kind of sit back and wait. And if we do end up having success with the production and revival of Peculiar Encounters this weekend, it might be sooner than later that the first new Peculiars in almost 2 years posts. So stay tuned for that. Again, that's on Klein Studios production, my main YouTube channel. I'll have to see. I'm as curious as you. So, all right. You used your my similar, a little different, but yeah, my George Takei. Yeah. All right, everyone. Peace. Rock on, and see you hopefully next week.
Bye.
Bye.